Hamzat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns. I mean, gosh, they lived up to everything and more. I guess just talk about that. I mean, the energy was electric. It was insane. I guess, what did you take out of that fight?
Yeah, it's one of the best fights I've ever seen. It's one of the coolest fights I've ever been to. Like you said, the place was so loud and people were going crazy. I mean, that fight was eclipsing the co-main and main event all week. And I was talking to Rogan and Sean and Mick and everybody else. Think about this. When's the last time you saw a guy come out of nowhere, right? Nobody knows who he is, comes out of nowhere, then fights a couple fights and then fights the number 2 ranked guy in the world and wins. You know, when you get into the top 5 in the UFC, no joke, man. And especially in that division. I mean, that division is straight killers. You know, tonight was a big test for him, and he passed. I mean, think about this too. He's never had that big moment where coming into this week, you know, how many fights this guy got in the UFC? He's got a couple fights. The buzz for him is bigger than the main event and co-main event. Everybody's talking about him. Crowd's going crazy, like we're in his hometown or some shit. And then you come out and you fight a guy like Gilbert Burns, who I'm sure completely felt disrespected going into this fight and wanted to make a point himself. So Teddy Atlas tweeted tonight, which I loved. At the end of the second round, Teddy Atlas said, "We know what Hamzat Chimaev has on the outside when it comes to talent. We're about to find out what he's got on the inside now." And that was going into the third round. Nobody could have said it better.
Well, I was going to say, like, what's your biggest takeaway, right? Because I see, you know, it seems like there's 2 paths. Either one, like you said, he just fought a real dude and gutted out a decision win. We found out he's got heart. And then there's other people that are saying, see, he can't run through everybody. That, you know, he's not as good as we thought he was.
Well, he's human. I mean, any asshole that said that doesn't think the kid's human. He's a human being. And he just beat the number 2 welterweight in the world in the UFC with a couple of fights in the UFC. If you don't think he's the real deal, you're out of your mind. Yeah, he's human, you know, and funny, you know, Till keeps telling me, you know, this guy never gets tired. This guy never, ever runs out of energy. He never. But you can't train in the gym for what happened tonight. You can't. I'm sure this week, leading up to this week, you know, he's had a ton of pressure on him. A lot of anxiety, probably, who knows how well he slept last night. You know, all the things that go into the buzz and energy. And then I'm sure there was a huge adrenaline dump after that first round. So this is shit you can't train for. And you either make it through it or you don't. He made it through with flying colors.
The last thing for me, I'll just ask, I mean, you said coming in, you thought Covington would be the right matchup for him moving forward. Now that you've seen him tonight, do you still feel like that's the right fight to make?
Well, that's the other thing. All these other guys who didn't want to fight him before, I'm sure, are looking at him differently now, too. But that's what happens when you break into the top 5 in the world in any of these weight classes. You are going in against the absolute best in the world. Gilbert Burns is number 2. He almost knocked Usman out, who is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. So, you know, for people that are saying whatever, A, you probably don't know jack shit about fighting, and B, you have to put it all into perspective.